4-year-olds, 5-year-olds have been alive.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's true for a lot of things in Dota. 4 years, 5 years isn't very long. I mean, Dota's like, what, 15 years? Isn't that
That's something like that. But yeah, it's perfect.
Old game.
I question Navi's decision-making on just last picking PA, because it's already a decent Viper game when you have Huskar.
PA is...
double break. You're just both... Imagine you have one wall in your house full of fine china.
But you just get BKB, right? And then fine.
Sure. But that's kind of the story for both these heroes now. Oh, we'll see.
You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of things that PA doesn't like, but then she gets BKB, and then it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
and then she's jumping around the fight.
Speaking of the past, again, TI5, I remember playing against PPD. They loved picking Bat Brew, and at the time it was mid Brew, and it would be off lane Bat. You know, Sumailan Universe. They did it with Gyro, did it with AM, a lot of different things. But anyway, it's just kind of telling how now that even though they're different roles, like Bat and Brew are still good, right? Because their concepts are strong. So no matter what changes in Dota as far as hero roles, lane mechanics, yada yada, certain mechanics.
So nice.
Anyway, the what are we talking about again?
I don't know. Maybe they just hypnotized us.
That'd be cool. Have you ever been hypnotized?
No, it doesn't exist, does it?
It does. No, it 100% works.
Does it actually work? It's one of those things, isn't it, that some people will believe in and they say it works. I mean, I've never tried it, so I can't really comment. I've never tried to be hypnotized.
Supposedly, some people can. You probably not. Anyone who's like super skeptical about it, it won't work.
It won't. But if you believe it.
Yeah, exactly. But you have to like be this. You have to have this sort of mind that it can work on. I don't know. It's weird.
Have you tried it?
It doesn't work on me because I think it's shenanigans. But it's definitely real. I just feel like if you don't want to be hypnotized, you won't be. You know what I mean? Anyway, 5 stacks on Blizzy. You gotta be a little cautious. You can see they actually did change up the lanes though. This time Soxa in the safe lane on that Batrider, PPD off lane on the Lion with the Brew. So I think they
realized.
Yeah. It's cool because that was one of, like, if there were a mistake NIP made, I thought it was the way they had laned the supports. And it's a similar scenario here where you want to ensure that you're keeping your Brew alive, and you put your stronger zoner, like damage output support, in the off lane. Bad Jug, a pretty formidable lineup. Lane matchup, rather. But Huskar versus Viper. I've seen Huskar win this matchup, but that was back when you actually had magic resistance. PPD in a bit of trouble.
He is indeed. They're going for the chase down up top. He's got the stun to hold back the PA, and that will be enough to allow him to walk away.
Oh, they're doing very well in their lanes in IP. Soxa going to deny himself to the creeps. You don't see that very often nowadays. TP from PPD.
Sparta. He's going to get taken down. The wraparound for Chu. Pays off. First blood for Na'Vi.
It's a big kill. They're very helpful to the Huskar. Unfortunately, Chu got the last hit, but you take those. Let's see, Ace. Yeah, Ace just dropped his Wraith Band. That's another reason it's actually pretty value to die and or deny yourself, because it's near impossible to use Walking Courier in the side lane. Thus, here's your Courier, your friendly support who's arrived back in lane.
We're going to see a wraparound from NIP PPD. It was hovering around mid. They do have that ward though, so it's very hard really for NIP to make any sort of surprise movement on towards Magical's mid Huskar.
It's a good timing to do so, because you notice when PPD moves his lane, it's because the lane top is pushed. So he knows his Brewmaster is safe, thus his presence there doesn't really accomplish much, so you might as well poke your head mid. Maybe you don't do much other than, you know, keep Magical away from a creep or two, but that's still better than nothing. It's all about those little micro efficiencies, abusing those and hoping they add up over time. Recipe to success. Radiant get the pull off bottom. It's interesting. This is another element of the Radiant advantage I feel like I haven't heard brought up, which is that the Radiant has a very easy time pulling that hard camp, and Dire finds it near impossible.
Oh, look at that wraparound there. Collapse find the tier 1 tower, and the 33 just leading in, buying time for PPD to walk in with the wraparound. Get a kill on Crystallize.
Yeah, they're winning every lane. Specifically mid, that's the key. That 10th pick, Viper, you know. You all hang on.
Might VC be able to quite finish off Saxes.
Oh, he's got a lot of points in Flame Break. You got to be careful with your Blizzy. I like that decision because both Sven and Puck are pretty mobile.
Yeah, you're not really going to Firefly over them, are you?
Exactly, exactly. And the Flame Break pushback also, it's not a stun, but at least gets them a little closer to the Jug. Maybe he'll be able to get that full spin duration off. You know, anytime you can 10th pick a mid hero that crushes its lane like Fada is right now, you're golden. But in addition, like, look at this. The Magical can't turn because if you're standing in that Nether Toxin, you don't get any of that attack speed bonus. Thus, you're just
there's no benefit to being low.
You're a regular. You're like a centaur, like as far as auto attack speed. I don't know. It feels really good if you're the side of NIP. You've got no problems with control, with burst damage. They've got tower pressure. They'll scale. You can expect to see a Midas, I would imagine, on 3-3 once again.
Yeah, I was going to wonder, what do you think Fada will build on the Viper? Because we did see some Vipers recently go for the Midas themselves.
I think it's... it's an interesting question. Previous patches, I would have not liked Midas, but after the changes to it, I feel like it's almost always value, especially on a hero like Viper where you're effectively just auto attacks. But there's arguments that can be made for Dragonlance, for Drums, for Sanjin Yashas, for Maelstrom. Like, it's really personal preference. Or you could go for the defensive items, you know, maybe a hood or something.
This is wraparound for Saxo. That point in flame break going to mean that there's more time for Fada and Saxo to punch into Magical. Magical does have the Verifier though, and a TP from Chu.
Yeah, it's just Huskar loves to be able to turn around, right, and just counter this aggression with just standing strong on the high ground as the support rotates in. You just can't do that against Nether Toxin. It's so annoying.
On top, 33 able to keep good pressure onto that P. I mean, it's as you said, with the support swap around, the lanes are just going that much better compared to game one. NIP already just having a pretty big advantage in CS, about 10 CS advantage in all lane matchups.
We've seen how many times in this current meta where winning 3 lanes wins you the game? It feels like almost 9 out of 10, unless there's some sort of huge skill disparity between the sides. But I'd say as far as team play goes, these are 2 fairly evenly matched squads.
Dude, look at that tree.
Which one?
What do you mean, what one?
Dude, there were whole tons of trees.
Dude, there's a massive tree.
Okay, I thought that was
my.
All right, fine. Wait.
Come on, Kyle, open your eyes.
I'm sorry. Blur?
Oh. He'll get back up. I mean, it's still just keeping him away from this wave. It's so scary for Crystallize to come in. But this tree there, there's one there as well. That one's not even as big as the one we saw before.
Jeez.
there it is. It's growing. It's actually just growing. What does it mean?
I have no idea. A good arborist, perhaps, some fertilizer.
PPD. We'll get found out. This time the support still have the control to get him. What is up with the trees? Something.
So, you ever watch The Happening?
What happens in it?
Spoiler alert. The plants are killing us. Oh no. Shout out to M. Night Shyamalan.
Oh no, I haven't seen it.
You're not missing much.
Okay.
What? Fada? You shouldn't be dead, but still, that was a curious position. The problem with Viper in certain matchups, like, if you can't pressure, you will be pressured because you very much have to play from ahead. Magical's gonna die.
Well, is he? He's got Seneko behind him.
I lied.
Oh no, okay, PPD's there. Suddenly PPD comes in for the River
The curse has been passed.
Hey.
It's yours now. I gotta be real careful not to take it up on myself
suddenly
again.
Just this Lion walking in with an Earth Spike, and bam, Magical is there.
And the key here is that they've left Ace in a favorable matchup now, because since he had such a huge edge, he can just, at the very least, ensure he gets every CS. Maybe Puck will be able to get some nice farm. You can't kill him as a Jug, but
PD
still pretty happy.
Using the cover of the tree. I wonder if the tree is like that actually in the game. That's actually game changing.
I hope not.
It might actually be, wouldn't
so
it?
Dota's cool though because we're using this terrain, but the players are all probably using base terrain.
New tree.
I don't.
They're using their own terrain.
Yeah, I can't think of a single pro player that uses a weather effect or an alternate terrain, unless there's some sort of competitive advantage.
Yeah. There is in some of them in there. Is it about the Immortal Gardens where you have like the square hedges? Remember?
Yeah. But that lowers your FPS.
Yeah, but then these guys are pros. They're all running on like NASA PCs and stuff, aren't they?
Not necessarily. Maybe. Those are still expensive.
Lane. Jump ball from Magical. TP's immediately coming through. The Viper strike onto Chu, but he should be fine.
They do get the double TP forced. I think Peter canceled his though. Good decision. The moment he recognized that the aggression was halting, no reason to leave your lane.
The odds looking pretty solid and safe now for NIP, as not believing in the Na'Vi here with the numbers. So of course, if you want to have a look, check out the links below the stream.
Still an Oracle Huskar, but again, it's just, there's Viper, there's very few break mechanics in Dota, let alone one on the cooldown that Nether Toxin has. So whenever your win conditions both require passives, like, it's hard to bet against the Viper. Like, there's nothing else that deals with Huskar in the same manner. So even the Oracle Huskar, yeah, sure, you can keep him alive for a bit longer, but if he's forced to stand in Nether Toxin, his offensive output is non-existent.
Just want to try and grab that bounty rune. Is he going to be able to do so? He will. He'll take that away underneath the noses of Chew and Blizzy. More than fine to get himself away, but 2k lead for NiP. These slightly favourable lanes starting to show the results.
Yeah, could still go either way. All it takes is one fight from Na'Vi. You force an engagement away from the Viper, maybe Magical can make some serious moves. Blizzy Puck as well. A lot of emphasis on him, but concerning for me right now is Na'Vi's damage output before they get a bunch of core items online. It takes a while for Crystallize to be able to farm properly, let alone actually combat this NiP lineup in the team fight, because once again, that Bat-Brew combination, man, you've got the pick off the power, the single target lockdown, the BKB pierces, and Magical, dude, that's a Brew split active. But...
yeah. Let's see if they can get away with this. There's a lot of members of Na'Vi here, and Magical does have the false promise, so he's going to be more than fine. As 33 does have to just retreat with this split. Not much that he is going to be able to do other than just hopefully survive for himself. Blizzy's got his eyes on him. Does he want to try and go with the Dream Core? He is going to pop the Dream Core down. They are still continuing to chase forward onto 33. The Hex is out to Magical. The dagger flies in though. As the crit and the Purifying Flames for Snake do finish the Brewmaster off.
But once again, that same story. Yep, we bring the camera here just in time. Always Ace is getting farm, no matter what. Look at that net worth, nearly 5k gold, 1,500 ahead of his counterpart in carry PA. So you can assume if he is going for that Battle Fury, he'll pick it up far before his rival. And that's just vintage NiP. I think if 3-3 doesn't break coil there, he might survive, just because there was so much peel potential from the NiP lineup. Huskar was never going to be able to leap into tower range safely, but that little bit of damage, the crit from the dagger as well, helping out and making sure that 3-3 is the one that goes down. You can see every game is different. Previously, he went for the Quelling Blade Ground Boots into Midas. This game, he's winning his lane, so invest in it and go for the phase first, along with the bottle before that Midas. Peter's level 6.
On to 33. He's got the Hex.
Snake false what's it called? Stop canceled his W there, like baiting the finger.
On the Fate CD.
Yeah, the Fate CD, exactly. It just, again, like both these teams are on point. They understand like what's necessary. They grasp the kill windows and what spells would prevent them or give them the opportunity to strike. And if you burn Fate's Edict, it's like, okay, now you might have to ult preemptively because Huskar, you no longer have that magic resist. So you gotta have the Oracle, who actually, did he TP out? Where's Snake?
He's gone.
Magical's a lot of trouble.
Magical's the only one here as the Omni Slash comes in, and Na'Vi, they're looking for plays elsewhere. They do get Fada, so it will be a core for core trade. So that was the move from Na'Vi. Yeah, they wanted to make a play mid, but it did leave their Huskar vulnerable up top.
Yep, it's really just well played by both sides. Those gangs happened almost simultaneously, so neither core. You kind of have to keep showing, otherwise you give information to the enemy side like, hey, they're looking to make a move, so I'm playing safe for no reason. Both players really acting as bait alone in lane, and they end up dying. That's just the nature of Dota 2. But good teams, as you can see, they're always playing all lanes. So someone will die eventually. The problem that bad teams have is that they end up holding hands in their jungle or in a single lane, doing nothing in the hopes that like they'll be able to bait some massive team fight. But good teams, like, it's creep waves, baby.
And PPD's there with the Hex, the finger as well.
Good positioning. And he's playing bottom side because he knows that's where his wards are, whereas the higher, they only had opportunities to place wards on the top side of the map. And of course, PPD just in that little bit of space where there's no vision.
Smart stuff there, and that will be the first buff to his finger. Plus 50 damage on the Magical Burst. Bottom lane, Na'Vi. Claim a tier 1 tower. It's going to be a trade by the looks of it, with NiP pushing on middle.
He bought Vlad's on proof. Interesting. He didn't go for the Midas. So he's switching it up. Maybe they discussed it real quick and they're like, hey, we can actually accelerate and just look to win this game. I wonder what the Juggernaut's item progression is. Because if he's not going Battle Fury, he is not. Okay, he is now.
He is now, so he gets the Yasha first. Yeah.
Nice. And then timely DD rune, another example of the Radiant advantage. You can pull your safe lane, Dire can't, and it's a hell of a lot easier when you get to this mid-game stage of mirroring map to just walk into Rosh, especially if you have a Vlad when the time of BD run. And that's probably what the Vlad is for, really. This is a big edge for NIP now. Lizzie's thinking about it, but...
Any way they can get in time. Fada's going to keep them outside of the pit, though, with the Viper strike down. Dreamcore down to two of them. 33 pots the Primal splitting straight in to make space for Ace to finish Rosh, get the Aegis. Now Ace is able to move in. They've got the control, holding Magical up in the air as this Huskar. They'll cut down the healing ward, jump up towards Ace. They're trying to get rid of Snake before he gets the False Promise up, but the False Promise is there. But as you say, 33's control with the Wind Panda makes the majority of the False Promise useless. As Magical taken down as well. Na'Vi turning up a little too late and split up to come and contest that Rosh as they lose Rosh, the Aegis, and 2 kills.
It's the little things, man. Like NIP, they know Rosh is going to be able to be covered by Ace, so they just swarm outside of the pit. Coil gets popped, sure, but Fada, the only one that breaks it. Immediate split by 3-3, and you can see the power of this Brewmaster. There's a reason it's being first two'd by NIP and Alliance as well. The EU region giving a ton of respect to a hero that's pretty much ignored by CIS, and you can see Na'Vi being punished, I think, a little bit based on their lack of understanding of just what this hero gives to a side. You can't contest big objectives like this walking into a Panda, especially if he has a Vlad's.
Jump forward from Magical.
That's not purgeable, that's a hack.
As Ace is hunting, doesn't have the Omni Slash, did use that mid just now to kill Chu.
Yep. So I wasn't sure exactly where it was. Snako, alright.
Just caught out straight away by a stun from PPD.
Well, he knows his ward there now, but now Huskar's in a lot of trouble. Oh,
the Magic, he actually chooses to jump back in. They do get the Dream Core down for 3 of them, but the healing ward's out. The Hex again is there onto Magical. As Magical has got the armlet toggle. He's running and Fada's gets another Viper strike down onto him. There's no Snake at 7. It's going to be about the toggles. And it looks like this man's got it down to a T, as Magical will be able to toggle through the Viper strike to keep himself alive. Top tier 2 tower, though, is taken by NIP.
And as always, you know, this is happening, but NIP, they're playing this aggressive with only 4 heroes. Saksa was farming bottom lane and the entire jungle out. He should be finishing his bots, his drums, his blink, whatever it is, the item he's going for. Crystallize, he's going for Battle Fury, but you know, you look at Ace, he went for that Yasha first, so not only is he able to participate in these fights, but now he'll have a Battle Fury even before Crystallize. So really everything going well for NIP. Now the bots finished on Saksa, and just really nice way they're playing the map. Always in this like 4-1 formation. Chu in trouble. He did go Midas on Fata. Also going Tranquils. This is something I've only really seen him do. Every game he plays these types of heroes, he's always going Tranquils.
It's starting to fall apart a little bit as it seems for Na'Vi. As they lose Chu, Sneko does false promises that they do kill PPD's Lion. But Crystallize not really able to jump in as of yet. He's throwing daggers out. It's the power of the heals. And Sneko will survive. Magical jumps in, but now they know there's no false promise. So they can go with the lasso. They know that there's no way for Magical to be saved.
Yep.
As it works out perfectly for NIP. Sure, they don't kill the Oracle, but they get the Huskar because of it.
Yep, they understand the game state, you know. Kill the Oracle, or at least bait the ultimate, as you said, and then anybody else is easy picking. Just another well-fought game by NIP. I love what they've been doing. Yeah, but going back to Fada's item build, like Midas into Buckler, it's a strange sense, but it's really the same thing that they did in the previous game. And again, the way that the items link up on all the cores just makes sense. Brew goes Vlad's instead of Blink, which frees up Fada, or sorry, Vlad instead of Midas. Fada instead gets the Midas.
Look at the Dream Cup of the wraparounds there again with the Omni Slash bounces. Goes across a lot of the creeps, but it doesn't matter because they'll still kill Blizzy.
They're just swarming the map now, and all of a sudden you're linked up as 5, although of course 3-3, he's actually clearing out the bottom creep wave because he's not needed. He knows his split's down anyway, so it's not as if he'd be assisting in these team fights too much. And if I'm not mistaken, Fada is going to be going for Greaves.
He's got it queued up.
The double boot strat, and I don't blame them. Think about the sustain, Vlad's, Greaves, the healing ward, all the burst damage. How do you actually get out team fought by Na'Vi? And bear in mind, again, both cores need their passives to be able to effectively stay in these fights, and Fada's just going to be spamming Nether Toxin, which is part of the reason I think he's going for these Greaves, because he's actually more of a spellcaster than an auto-attacker, the way this game is playing out. You've got a Panda with Vlad's, you've got a Jug, they'll kill the structures. All you gotta do is hang out, and you can see Saksa consistently shoving side lanes. He's got those bots. Will he survive here? Yes, he will. Even if he dies there, who cares? And look, they're cutting mid-wave 2. Is really, wards down. It's just everything, all the little boxes being checked by NIP and Na'Vi. You haven't played a poor game necessarily, but
he finds Blizzy. Blizzy was just sitting there on the side, waiting for an opportunity to maybe set something up. I mean, there was no one else for Na'Vi really around.
It's the ward that was placed. Got the vision.
And now they're into the base, NIP.
They even trade glyphs to ensure that they have a longer bit of a creep wave. Ace once again cutting the mid wave, so there's no way to get around this. This is preemptively preventing the Puck from playing bottom here, cutting waves and stopping this push. They would have 2 waves no matter what.
He does get Viper Strike. NIP keeping Na'Vi away from being able to form any sort of defense. I mean, Crystallize, he has the the Battle Fury, but he hasn't got anything else on top of it yet. He needs more time, and NIP just aren't giving it to Na'Vi as they're pushing in 20 minutes, taking this bottom set of racks, hitting this timing perfectly with this Viper lineup, utilizing their strengths, the itemization, perfect for sort of just closing the game at this time. And Na'Vi, I don't think they've got the tools to match it.
The way NIP plays is like an upgraded version of that Optic lineup from last year. Just same concepts, same fluid, no superstar. You know, this is Spurs basketball. This is everybody plays a role, has a part. Tough to really point to a standout performance because everyone's done their job.
Tree just get jumped upon. He has been silenced as well, but he's still going to get stunned. And with that stun, it's got to be over. It's got to be over. GG is indeed called as NIP. They don't mess around in game 2. They make this look as easy as ever.
And I can't say, like, Na'Vi didn't play bad. They didn't draft bad. It's just wow.
I mean,
really,
it's
wow.
NIP.
Yeah.
I mean, NIP have just